Imagine a giant container ship, longer than 3 football fields, slicing through the deep blue of the Pacific Ocean. On its hull, an unseen and unwelcome city is growing. Barnacles, algae, other marine life cling to the steel, creating a rough, living skin. This is biofouling, more than an inconvenience, a massive anchor, a source of drag that makes engines burn far more fuel. That burns fuel and releases tons of greenhouse gases, warming our planet and acidifying our seas. The problem goes beyond fuel and emissions. From one port to another, from one continent to the next, ships carry these organisms. They aren't native in destination harbors. When they detach or reproduce, they can become invasive, outcompete local wildlife for food, outcompete them for space, and disrupt entire food webs. A single ship can introduce a species that devastates fisheries and aquaculture, causing economic hardship and ecological chaos. This invasion is a silent, slow-motion crisis happening every day in ports around the globe, altering the natural character of coastal waters. To fight it, the shipping industry turned to paint. Special anti-fouling coatings applied to hulls. These are called anti-fouling systems. The goal? Keep the hull smooth, save fuel, and stop moving invasive species. A clean hull means more efficient operations, faster transit, and a less disruptive environmental footprint. For an industry moving over 80% of global trade, paint performance is critical, so the chemistry matters. For decades, anti-fouling paint used powerful poisons, biocides, to kill attaches. So, what exactly is an anti-fouling system? Any method used to keep a ship's hull clean from marine growth. While this can include advanced non-toxic coatings and underwater cleaning technologies, for most of the 20th century, it meant a special paint infused with a biocide, a chemical designed to kill living things. The most potent were organotin compounds, with the most notorious being tributyltin, or TBT. A miracle for ship owners, incredibly effective at preventing biofouling, and its slow, steady release meant a single application could last up to 5 years. The problem was that TBT was too good at its job, an indiscriminate killer. Leaching from countless hulls, it accumulated in harbors, marinas, and shipping channels worldwide. A chemical blanket of death settled into sediments, then was stirred up again and again for years. Toxic hotspots formed wherever ships congregated. In the 1970s, scientists in France and the UK found Pacific oysters growing thick, brittle, and misshapen, unmarketable. Sea snails like the dog whelk were affected at vanishingly low concentrations, as little as 1 part per trillion. Females developed male sex organs, a condition called imposex, rendering them sterile and collapsing populations. TBT bioaccumulates, concentrating up the food chain, from plankton to fish to dolphins, seals, and seabirds. Studies found dangerously high levels linked to immune suppression and reproductive problems, threatening long-term survival. It was clear. The paint used to protect ships was waging a chemical war on the ocean, and the ocean was losing badly. TBT was an ecological disaster. By the late 1980s, the scientific evidence against TBT was overwhelming. Several countries began partial or national bans, especially for small recreational boats in coastal waters. But shipping is a global industry. A ship may be registered in one country, painted in another, and sail through 100 more. A patchwork of national rules could not solve a global problem. The International Maritime Organization, the UN Agency for Safety, Security, and Environmental Performance, took action. After review, debate, and negotiation among member states, a major conference convened in London. On October 5, 2001, the IMO adopted the International Convention on the Control of Harmful Anti-Fouling Systems on Ships, the AFS Convention. A decisive line in the sand. Economic benefits could no longer justify immense ecological damage. The core rule, a complete prohibition on harmful organotins like TBT. No new applications after January 1, 2003, and by 2008, old systems removed or sealed to prevent leaching. Designed as a living document, the convention can assess and ban future harmful substances, preventing one poison replacing another. For a global treaty to be effective, its rules must be clear, enforceable, and apply to everyone. The primary burden of compliance falls on owners and operators. Ships of 400 gross tonnage and above on international voyages must be surveyed and carry an International Anti-Fouling System certificate. Inspectors verify no prohibited compounds remain. legacy TBT must be removed to bare hull or encapsulated with an approved barrier coat that prevents leaching. Manufacturers are prohibited from producing TBT coatings for covered ships and have invested in effective, safer alternatives, copper-based and biocide-free options. Port authorities can inspect certificates, take samples, issue warnings, or detain non-compliant ships, a powerful deterrent. The certificate is the ship's passport of compliance, proof the vessel is no longer a source of this pollution. The implementation of the AFS Convention has been a quiet success in marine conservation. Monitoring in former hotspots shows dramatic declines in TBT in water and sediments since 2008. Dog whelks recovered as imposex plummeted, oysters normalized, ecosystems began to heal. Yet challenges remain. Many alternatives rely on copper, which can accumulate in enclosed waters and affect sensitive species. Biofouling persists, especially in niche areas. The IMO's glow-fouling partnerships help nations adopt best practices to curb biological invasions. The AFS Convention is a powerful model and a reminder of shipping's complex, interconnected environmental challenges. While TBT is banned, legacy coatings exist beneath sealers. Long-term integrity demands vigilance. The future is biocide-free, ultra-slick silicones, shark skin-inspired textures, UV light, and micro-vibrations that deter settlement without killing. Support research, deployment, and adoption. Choose innovation for the ocean. Global problems require global cooperation and everyday choices. Informed buying, transparent supply chains, and supporting ocean science. Advocate for stronger maritime rules and non-toxic coatings. Don't wait for another disaster. Science, diplomacy, and collective will heal the wound. The future of the ocean is in our hands. Let us protect it.